Hello everyone and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday the 11th of July 2022. It's Gary here again and I hope you're having a very enjoyable start to your week. I'm sure it wasn't helped by the bizarreness of events surrounding Saturday's abandoned game in Portugal, and you'll likely have seen by now, I imagine, that the club had made a statement on the website and via their social media channels, I believe, as well, saying tonight's match in Portugal was abandoned at half-time due to a stadium floodlight issue. Neither Rangers or Sunderland were responsible for the stadium operations and the floodlight failure. However, Rangers appreciate the support of our loyal fans and the support they give the team everywhere we go, which means everything to us. Rangers will refund the ticket cost to all Rangers ticket holders and their supporters that purchased the match on Rangers TV. Thank you for your continued support. Supporters can email contact@rangers.co.uk to apply for their refunds. I can't remember the last time we were involved in a match that was abandoned, and even then, it's normally weather related, and this might have been maybe they melted because it was too warm in Portugal or something like that, but it's normally some sort of inclement weather related challenges that force a call off. So mechanical failure just seems so bizarre. I have no idea what level the stadium was at in terms of quality or anything like that, and I'm also not 100% sure why the club are asking the fans to apply for the refunds. I don't know why they wouldn't have just refunded the credit cards that were used to purchase either the actual ticket for the game or the Rangers TV subscription, but maybe I'm just kind of smoking crack on that one. I'm not saying they're doing anything dodgy or anything, it just seems a wee bit more clunky than it would have to be. Anyway, if you happen to be in that boat, you now know what to do. Contact@rangers.co.uk and apply for your refund. I would imagine if you put in your confirmation number in there or something like that you'll get that sorted as well. And I did want to acknowledge the somewhat lateness of the pod going out last week. I did the wee educational segment at the beginning discussing both Canada Day and American Independence Day, but didn't think far enough ahead to appreciate that our main man, Mr. Chris down there in Seattle, who does all of the packaging and uploading to the various podcast platforms, would actually be busy celebrating said Independence Day with his friends and family. Whoops-a-daisy. So we got it out Tuesday afternoon, and I guess the good news on that was that there was nothing on there that was very time sensitive or anything like that, so kind of no harm done, I hope, and I hope it didn't disrupt your listening routine for last week. On the games segment, I'm going to try this again and state that it is finally a week where Rangers Football Club's first team will be playing the second of our 4 friendlies of this month to get us in tip-top shape for the season opener, which is in now less than 3 weeks. So just a bit of a recap, we have the Blackpool versus Rangers game at Bloomfield Road this Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff, 3 p.m. UK. And then that's followed by Rangers at home to West Ham on Tuesday the 19th of July, and that's a 2:45 Eastern Standard Time kickoff, 7:45 UK. And then the final one is on Saturday the 23rd of July, a week before the season opener, at home to Spurs, and that's a 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff, 3 p.m. UK. So here's hoping that the fine folks of Blackpool have their logistics completely locked in for this Saturday's friendly at Bloomfield Road so that we can all get to enjoy that one with no interruptions. For RTV for this week, Alan did get all the new codes out to all of our active clubs, and as far as I know, everyone was sorted. What you might have noticed, I know some did for sure, was that the vouchers that we passed out and that were redeemed expire on the 1st of August. Basically, what RTV have said to us was that they would spot us the friendlies while we work out a payment amount and payment schedule and structure for this coming season. So I guess with our tardiness in paying for last season, there's a wee bit of damage that's been done in terms of the earned flexibility that we have enjoyed in previous years gone past. So what that means is we have a couple of ways that this will go. One, RTV will be able to extend each of the vouchers already distributed for the entire season, or 2, we'll have to issue new vouchers in the week of the the lead up to the Livingston game, which would be after the Spurs game, like the week commencing the 25th. And then we'll see how it goes. So we'll figure that out, and hopefully, I don't anticipate we'll be talking about it this week, but I imagine it'll be next week. So I'll let everyone know where we land on that, just so that we can get prepared in advance. And of course, on Saturday there were feed challenges experienced during the first half of the game as well, but I believe that was all over. It wasn't just specific for RTV subscribers, and it did originate from the stadium feed itself. So I think it's pretty much in the what could go wrong, did go wrong category, isn't it? I didn't get to experience any of this firsthand as I was attending a wedding. So just got to follow the unfolding of the events on our NARSA WhatsApp group chat. Hopefully that's all the bad stuff out of the way for pre-season, and we're in good shape from this point going forward. For shoutouts, firstly, I'd like to wish my love, Erin, very safe travels and a wonderful holiday with her parents and her kids in Ontario. Erin left this morning. Actually, I guess it was this afternoon, technically this afternoon, and is going to be there for 3.5 weeks, which means that I'm here in Calgary on my own for 3.5 weeks during the Calgary Stampede, certainly for the first part of that. Anyway, I'm sure absolutely nothing can go wrong with that, and everything will be just nice and quiet. Ish, kinda, sorta. I have all these grand plans of being good and normal and a well-behaved adult, and then I'll get that text saying beer tonight, and then I'll go all week and I'll relent, and then it's a runaway. The good thing about the next wee while though is that I do have a lot of studying to do for a qualification I've been working on since November last year, so my plan is to immerse myself in that and use my time for actual good until that text comes in. So we'll see how it goes, but this isn't about me, it's about Erin, and have a wonderful time out there, my love, and I'll see you very soon. I did see some news on Facebook last week that one of the young fellas from the Govan Proddy Boys flute band members, a fellow by the name of Jordan Elric, tragically passed away. He was a young fella, as I mentioned, and that makes it all the more terrible, doesn't it, for his family and friends. I've since passed on NARSA's condolences to Ian Marshall from the band and let him know that we're here for whatever they need. I mean, as you know, the Govan Proddy Boys are the heartbeat of many of our convention experiences, and for tragedy like this to hit them really strikes home with me. So sincere condolences to his family and friends at this just awful time. And finally, on the shoutouts for this week, I did get a wedding update from NARSA Communication Director Fraser Muir on his son Graham's wedding this past weekend, and I'm just going to read it out here. He said, "Hiya Gary, lovely, all outdoors, and yes, the tears did flow as Graham lost his cool when Brianne entered. What a party the kids put on. I'm still sore." What sort of party was that? All friends and close family only. I'm attaching a couple of interesting photographs, which he did. A while back, I asked the lad if he would consider wearing a kilt for the ceremony. "Sorry, Dad, everything's already been planned." Well, I thought, I'll bring him along my Rangers scarf anyway, and he can have a photo taken with that in his suit. A wonderful keepsake nonetheless. My son-in-law Chris and daughter were the MCs. After the ceremony, Graham told Chris we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the reception. And then, to the tune of 500 miles, the lads all came in dancing in their kilts. Yes! Brilliant stuff. So that sounds like it all went swimmingly and to plan, and Graham and Brianne have had a great start to married life. I too, as I mentioned earlier, was at a wedding, and that was for Scott and Shane Salmon here over in Cochrane, just next to Calgary. And it was a brilliant day, followed by a brilliant night that's a wee bit blurry at the end, which is always a great sign of a good night. So congratulations to Graham and Brianne, and congratulations also to Scott and Shane, who have got absolutely no chance whatsoever ever of listening to this, but I'll just say it anyway while we're on the topic of weddings. For NARSA 2023 convention update, I can confirm that it is 339 days until Toronto Midtown host the biggest Rangers bash of the year. And in a week's format, that's just over 48 weeks to go. And as I said just last week, before we know it, it's going to be in the 30s, it's going to be in the 20s, the 10s, and the single figures. That's true. And again, similar to last week, there's not too much to report in terms of practical event planning. But we do now have a meeting scheduled with the lads from Toronto Midtown Rangers Supporters Club on the 19th. That's a week from Tuesday, a week tomorrow. And we'll get going in earnest on that. They did put a good package together in terms of what they're doing. So there's been a lot of planning that's been done up to date. So we're not starting from ground zero or anything. I don't want anyone to worry about that. And I did have a chat last week with Rosie Rata from our official travel partner, the Holiday and Flight Centre, to discuss in a wee bit more depth and detail the packaging status. And she's now in the process of actually putting the packages together that will include your flights, accommodation at the official NARSA hotel, and your 3-night event packages as well. And one thing she did say was that they do have a lot of flexibility in terms of being able to satisfy your travel needs. I think there's going to be some standard packages put together. For example, don't quote me on this, but 5-day packages, 7-day packages, 9-day packages, something like that. But Rosie did ask that I let you know that you're more than welcome to reach out to them directly to let them know your specific needs, and that will help in a couple of ways. Most importantly, it will give them an idea of what our guests are actually thinking about for the travel requirements, which might end up then influencing what packages are going to be available. So yeah, a little bit of flexibility there. I'll put the telephone number in the blurb for tonight's pod, if I remember. I hope I do. And you can reach out if you're still in the planning process yourself. And we are still targeting the packages to be available around about the August-ish time frame, and I definitely will keep everyone updated on that as we move closer towards that date. On the communication front for this past week, firstly, I'm actually not long done with a post-NARSA 2022 podcast recording with our good friends David Edgar, Cammy Bell and Martin Ramsey from the Heart and Hand, the Rangers Podcast Network, where we just went through the NARSA, parts of the NARSA 2022 journey and our collective and individual experiences. As you'll remember, David Edgar was our MC and Martin Ramsey was our kind of co-MC and main backup and support. And I tell you what, it was a laugh. It always is a laugh getting to shoot the breeze with these guys. And my understanding is that it will be published for free on their network this coming Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. UK time. So once it's out there, we'll make sure to forward it to everyone so that we can get the maximum reach possible for this. I just love working with these guys, and both David and Martin were instrumental to the smoothness of the events that we hosted in Vegas, including the live show that we did on this Sunday afternoon. That was such a great day that day. On the Rangers shirt, or the Rangers tops front, I am very happy to let you know that they are arriving today. I was actually hoping to be able to say, I'm very happy to let you know that I'm sitting here sporting my swanky new Rangers 2022-23 home shirt, but alas, it didn't work out like that. But it is supposedly arriving, so before we get to the end of the pod, you might hear the doorbell ringing, and that will be the shirts arriving from DHL 2 weeks in a day from the ordering date. And I will be in possession of the goods. When it gets to this late stage and DHL take over, it's pretty much guaranteed they're going to arrive when they're supposed to arrive. So I was hoping to give you some early or preliminary observations of the shirt here, but I don't have it yet. So I'll need to wait and do that for you for next week. Another quick reminder of our NARSA Partners 5 Stars and the signing session with Barry Ferguson and Craig Moore tomorrow, the 12th of July. And you can purchase memorabilia directly from them, or you can drop off your own stuff and have them signed as well. And I'll keep the link in for this one last week, just on the off chance that you've heard this late and you're looking to maybe go get some stuff signed and get some stuff in your collection. I wanted to do a wee bit of a new segment on the pod, and this won't be in perpetuity. It will be a bit temporary, but it started when I was doing my speech on the Saturday night in Las Vegas, and I was thanking the NARSA executive for their tireless efforts and everything NARSA related, not just the convention, and also mentioned their own support networks who help give them the time, space, encouragement, a friendly ear, and basically whatever else it is they need to be able to support the NARSA community in the way that they do. And at the time, it was a general acknowledgement of the entire network of people, passive and active, in the NARSA world who really do contribute to our ongoing success. So I got to thinking that it would be good to actually give these people some proper acknowledgement and genuine thanks. So this week I'm going to start with Sandra Hawthorn, who is our NARSA secretary. And Sandra and I have worked together for the entire time I've been on the NARSA Executive Committee. That's 10 years. And she really is a brilliant lassie and a brilliant resource for us. Juggling club and NARSA duties isn't easy. I know that for a fact myself. And even just from a time management perspective, and Sandra has managed to keep the plate spinning expertly well on both fronts over the years. Not quite as active in our home club now, but certainly was in the earlier days. So the question posed to the NARSA executive was basically along the lines of like, who are your main support network, and what do they do for you in support of your NARSA work? And Sandra told me I would have to say my mum, Sandra, and brother John, as well as my colleagues and boss at work. They all support with understanding why I need to juggle my schedule for family and work in order to work on something or to do something to assist NARSA on the lead up to the conventions. They all know my passion for Rangers, and they do actually get involved when I need assistance. And I do have colleagues that actually do show an interest when Rangers make the news on this side of the Atlantic. And then in typical Sandra style, she kind of apologised and says, I don't know if this is what you were looking for. If it's not, you can bin it, like that sort of thing. But of course, no, this is exactly what we are looking for. So this is a fantastic network, obviously, that Sandra has in place, spearheaded by Sandra Senior. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, Sandra Senior, but I'll say it anyway since it's me recording, and Sandra Senior probably will never listen to it anyway. And to Sandra's brother John. And it's always very, very handy having work colleagues on side too, for those times that we just need a wee bit more understanding and forgiveness and patience when things get stupidly busy for us. So to Sandra's mum, Sandra, and her brother John, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you from me and the entire NARSA community for supporting Sandra in her passions and giving her the platform to be such a success in her role as our secretary. You folks are just simply the best. So that's what we'll do every week for the next wee while. It's a wee opportunity, as I say, to give everyone a wee bit of a sneak peek into who's behind the folks that make this whole machine work. We have 8 executive members, so maybe one a week. That depends how long they are. Maybe just to ease us into the new season. If they're kind of shorter, maybe I'll try and do a couple. But it was great to get an opportunity to start with Sandra and her network. I wanted to finish the comms section this week with a wee overview on some of the philanthropic work that we do here at NARSA. And we had a really good start of a conversation at the AGM in Las Vegas, which basically was themed around the question of what's the future of NARSA, what's the point of NARSA in today's day and age. And at the time I offered up some potential avenues that we could explore, and we agreed that we would continue that conversation with the entire membership sometime after the season starts. I kind of have September in my mind for that, but I don't know that we ever really confirmed anything. And another thing I mentioned at that point was the support that we are able to provide to various charitable organisations. I'm just going to mute my laptop since I guess I didn't do that before. Whoops-a-daisy. And in Vegas, actually, for the Rangers-related causes that we get to support on behalf of the NARSA membership, Vegas was a perfect example of that, because we did manage to raise monies for the Rangers Charity Foundation and the former Players Benevolence Club as well, and having representation there for the Youth Development Company too. And we've got an opportunity. I mean, these are dyed-in-the-wool Rangers organisations, and the opportunity to help them out through the various raffles and auctions that took place is a personal passion of mine. And to be able to create some sort of sustainable revenue stream for NARSA so that we can formally budget for benevolent support of different organisations and initiatives that are out there. So who knows, if this really kicks in and kicks on for us, we might have to create a specific NARSA benevolence director position to manage the budget and create connections with the various organisations that are out there. I would absolutely love that, and truly hope that this is something that we continue to explore and evolve as we move forward. I had mentioned after my recent Scotland trip that I was given a tour. I had the honour of being given a tour of the Rangers training centre at Auchenhowie, and while the whole thing was just absolutely amazing, just from a general fan perspective, one thing that really struck me was that when we were walking over to the kind of new stand that was built or recently just modified to get more seats in, there was a plaque or a sign outside, or maybe it was on the door, I can't remember exactly what it was, saying that it was primarily funded from the Rangers Fans Fighting Fund. And I told the fella that was doing the tour, a fella by the name of Craig Robertson, that NARSA had contributed $80,000 American dollars. I'm sure it was 80, maybe it may have been 90, but certainly in that ballpark, to the fund at the time. And he was genuinely surprised that we were such significant contributors to the overall fund. So you can see that our philanthropic support goes back a number of years, and my dream, as I said, is that we formalise that a wee bit more and provide more communication and accountability to our members and friends on the great work that we support in the interests of Rangers and humankind, quite frankly. So more to follow on that as time goes on, but know that this is where my head is at right now as we move forward with the association modernisation efforts that we have in place. And it's something, as I say, we obviously need a revenue stream to be able to support that the conventions will only provide so much profit as we go forward. So it's certainly something that's kind of top of mind, and through some marketing and sponsorship or whatever else we can manage to do, we'll see what we can do. It would just be such a cool thing to be in a great position to do that for the community, and really be trusted to give back to those that are less fortunate than ourselves, or to former players who have fallen on some harder times and that sort of thing. So yeah, more to follow on that, and would be more than happy to speak to anyone about that if you have any particular interest in how we would go about that, and as I say, formalise it just a wee bit more. For next week, it's next week actually to the day, it's the 2-month anniversary of Seville 2022 in the Europa League final. So what I thought maybe for next week, because we're kind of scratching for content, is we'd maybe do a wee section on the pod about the things that have kind of popped into my head since the event itself, both in the lead up to the game and the game after or afterwards, sort of like a wee walk down memory lane of things that just kind of happened to make the event that it was. So some kind of walk down memory lane, if you will. So we'll see how it goes, and when I'm prepping, if it turns out that the content is actually just crap and stuff that I've already gone through before, then I might not bother. We'll see, but I thought something like that would be good. Couple that with the network and the folks that are in the background as well. That kind of gets us going as on the final couple of weeks that we don't have actual literal games, competitive games to be talking about. So we'll see, as I say, something maybe kind of cool just to reminisce on. Okie dokie, that will do it for this week, my friends. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Please do share it with whomever you think might be interested in it and might enjoy it. And until next week, please do take care of yourself, and all the very best. Cheerio.